Hi, this is Josh Grelle, the voice of Yuri Kotsky from Yuri on Ice, and you're tuning in to Geek Impulse.
Hello everybody, I'm Joshua here with Geek Impulse, and I am sitting next to the icon himself, Josh Grelle Epic.
No! It's not Yeah, that's how, Grelle Epic! Yeah, thank you very much, man.
You're welcome, man.
Thank you very much for having
Sure,
me.
awesome.
Hi!
So, with anime fandom, there's a lot of, only sub and only dub.
Right.
It seems like, right?
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I mean, how do you go about choosing to be in dub? Did you ever consider perhaps going into, the Japanese, or do you even know Japanese to begin with?
I know enough Japanese to get by just when I visit. If I ever visit, like, I can ask where the bathroom is, I can ask where the booze is, and I can ask how to get back to my hotel. That's roughly it.
Awesome.
And enough to just say, hi, I'm an American. I don't speak very well. So, there's really no way that I could have gone into the Japanese market anyway. Gotcha. Like, they're very, there's only one person in the history, one or two people in the history of the anime industry that have come from the United States and actually started to work in the Japanese side of the industry. Okay. And no one's ever heard of them. So, well, that's the thing. It's for me, it was like choosing to be a part of dubs. That's an avenue of voice work. Like, the localization market has been around forever, even before anime. And it exists in every country. There's some form of localization market. So, in and of itself, dubs are a viable business to get into. Yep. But for me, it was more about just, I wanted to tell stories. And I grew up with a lot of amazing cartoons that told fantastic stories. And then I discovered anime, and it was kind of, for me, it was the next logical step up.
Of course, okay.
From the cartoons of my childhood. So, the fact, and they inspired me, and I loved, the way they told stories and how they didn't pull their punches, even though it's animated. They don't, if they want to have blood and gore and sex, they're going to have blood and gore and sex and everything. Yeah. And they don't limit themselves to just comedy like we do here in the States with a lot of our cartoons.
Exactly. It's very creative.
Yes. There's something for everyone.
Exactly. And you see some of that trying to translate into Hollywood these days.
Yeah.
But with that being said, something that's very popular is Yuri on Ice. And how did you happen to snag the main role in Yuri on Ice? And do you even...
Sonny Strait just thought I should have the part. We didn't even audition for it.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, there's auditions are kind of... they don't get to happen as often because we've moved to the simuldubbing model. Okay. So everything is done so fast, there's no time to audition.
Gotcha.
So that show came around, and Sonny Strait was just like... He told me that he had been waiting for a role that he thought was meant for me.
Wow.
And so, he saw that character, so was like, I want to use you for this. I think this is your character. And so, he just gave it to me, dude. I didn't snag nothing. He just gave it to me. And it was awesome. But and at the time, nobody knew what to expect from it. It was... All anybody knew was just a 45-second long or minute and a half long preview video they released before the actual show came out. There was no manga. There was no dating sim or H game or anything like that it was based on. It was 100% an original concept.
Wow.
So no one had any idea of what to expect from it.
So they didn't expect it was just going to blow up
within
the way it did.
3 weeks after it hit. Yeah, it had become a worldwide phenomenon.
Massive.
Yeah. And none of us expected it.
Well, how, even staying on Yuri on Ice, how often do you ice skate?
About as often as I get a colonoscopy.
So never,
yes.
Or at least once.
Yeah, at least once. I did it after we finished recording Yuri on Ice. The month after we wrapped, the cast got together for a wrap party at a skating rink in Dallas, and I lasted all of 10 seconds on the ice before my ankles were just like, screw you, and gave way underneath me, and I don't have that type, I'm a gamer. My legs were not built to hold up my weight on skates.
Understandable.
No, and especially not on ice. But I got it back up, and I made
you
like
kept- you
five.
kept going,
I did
kept
like
doing it?
5 whole
Gotcha.
turns around the whole thing. I figured out, oh, okay, it's just like it's rollerblading. It's the same concept
Just
behind
thinner.
skating and rollerblading. Yeah, just thinner. And so like I stayed out there for a little bit, but not as long as the rest of the cast did.
Well,
Like, all right, I skated. I'm fine.
You're a better man than me because I don't even want to get on the ice. to
I
be
don't
honest
blame
with
you. I
I'm
don't want
scared.
to again.
So let's transition a little bit. You play in basically another very wildly popular
Yeah.
anime, which is Dragon Ball Super.
Yes.
Right? And you play the Grand Priest, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Correct?
We for the dub, we've called him the Grand Minister.
Grand Minister. That's the other word I heard as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's really the understanding that I have behind it is twofold. The reason why we went with that instead of priest, because priest was not an accurate translation. Priest. Really, there's only one type of person in this world that we refer to as a priest, and that is someone of the Christian faith.
Of course.
And that's no one in Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Like, so like it just kind of didn't make sense to use that title. Plus, he is not religious in any way. His job is that of an administrator.
Makes
Administrator.
sense. I see.
He is, if anything, a caretaker of God. So like he administers over everything else.
So
God's
minister's
just a
more
child.
general, and it helps out a lot.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
so Grand Minister. It's more in line with what his title actually is and his job.
Now, I don't know if this is going to be spoilery.
Okay.
If this is a spoiler, I don't even think I said that correctly. Oh my god.
Spoilery,
Yeah. Is
I
that a proper word?
probably. Spoilerific.
Showing my lack of the English language here. It's probably why I don't
Fine.
do dub.
I speak two languages: English and bad English.
Is the Grand Minister going to be in the Dragon Ball Super movie, and how is the production going?
As far as I know, he's not going to be in there. I haven't been told anything about
Okay.
whether or not he's going to be in there. As far as like how production's going, again,
Don't know.
no idea. And here's the deal. Normally, like everybody knows about NDAs,
Yes.
like non-disclosure
Disclosure agreements,
agreements
of
or
course,
whatever.
yeah.
So it's like, the people most of the time they never trust us when we say we don't know, because as far as they're like they know, they just
You just
can't
don't. You
say.
just don't want to tell us
You just
here.
don't want to
at
tell
Geek
us
Impulse,
anything.
yeah.
It's like, no, literally, because so many people were able to like leaked things because they didn't actually adhere to their NDAs. We don't get told anything ever.
Wow.
I find out about what a show is going to be about, or like if my character is in something, because
Okay.
the fans told me.
Really?
Because they found out. Because, like, here's the deal: when you guys find out, when the general public finds out,
Then you'll know.
anything, that's when I know.
I see. Okay.
So, like, all I know is what we have seen in terms of previews and interviews with Toriyama. I can't talk either. I make my living talking. But like, yeah, it's just. That's really all we know is just what has been said publicly.
Gotcha. Okay.
I would love it if he was in there and like just somehow involved, even if it's just a quick shot of him saying something about the Saiyan race and then he's gone, or if he fights or something. I would love just to have him show up briefly in a Dragon Ball movie.
So you heard that here. Let's get him in that movie.
Please,
For sure.
please have them. I just want to see him fight. He fights in the manga.
Yes, he does.
Like, there's
yeah.
a shot where he just straight up blocks 3 gods of destruction with one finger, and I'm just like, where's that in the show? I just want to do something cool like that once. Yeah.
Since you, obviously, I mean, so many,
Yeah.
as we see here, so many different roles that you play. My next question is, how do you disassociate yourself from the different characters that you portray? You know,
Okay.
like you go from Yuri on Ice, right, and then Attack on Titan, for
Right.
example, right? How do you disassociate with that and prepare for those roles?
I don't really disassociate at all, as far as I'm concerned. Those characters are in my head, and it's and not in a psychopathic, fashion or anything like that. They don't speak to me, against my will or anything. But like they are a part of me now. I have put a part of myself in each of those characters when I've recorded them, and I've spent all that time with them. I know internally, I could not describe in words to you what it is like really to be Yuri or to be Armin.
Gotcha.
I just know when I go between Yuri and Armin, there is a very specific mindset and there's a very specific emotional state that I identify those characters with. And so really all it is a matter of switching my mind over to, I'm in this mindset, I'm in this emotional state, and this is the voice. And that's the character. And it really is as simple as switching between the two. Tokoyami, for example, I get to be Tokoyami and Dark Shadow at the same time in the show.
That makes sense, okay.
So a lot of times I'll record, if they talk one after another, I'll just do everything at the same time.
Wow.
So like Tokoyami, he's his voice, he's not necessarily brooding, but he is definitely one of the more serious characters.
Yeah.
Whereas Dark Shadow, everything is just kind of, hey, I'm loud, I'm proud, I'm here, and like he just that emotional state, and the darker things are, the more ferocious.
Of course, yeah.
And everything that Dark Shadow becomes. So like that, even Dark Shadow, just the shadow alone, I've got two different emotional states that I can go between. There's Dark Shadow when he's just a little dinky shadow dude, and he's fun and abrasive and loud, and we love him. And then there's Dark Shadow when he's a monster.
Like in the forest scene, right?
Yes.
That episode where that was pretty intense.
Yeah, and so like just with this character alone, I have three, at the very least, three separate voices, three separate mindsets and emotional states.
Wow.
That I'll just switch between.
Okay.
And that for me is what acting is. That's my style of acting.
Gotcha. And you're phenomenal at it, obviously.
Thank you very much.
So, as a dub actor, obviously you're very well sought out for roles. Mm-hmm. With that being said, has there been a role that you wish maybe somebody called you for that you wish you would have gotten but you didn't get, and you're kind of like, oh man, I wish I had that?
Oh yeah, hundreds and hundreds. 99 times you'll be told no before you get that one part.
Gotcha.
And that's the nature of this job. That said, definitely there's a character or two that I was just like, man, I really wish I could have gotten that or kept it. I was the original Simon for Gurren Lagann.
Oh, really?
When Gurren Lagann was, first came to the States back in 07, 08 or something like that. And that was going to be my first major lead role in anything. We did the first 5 episodes, and then ADV Films, partner company, backed out of the deal, took everything that we had owned, they had helped us buy for 3-4 years, including Gurren, and sold it to different companies. So I just lost the role overnight. But that said, those moments can be, gifts can actually be hidden blessings. If that had not happened, it's very possible that Monica Rial would not have left Houston to go in and live in Dallas and work very specifically with Funimation while ADV was, going bankrupt and everything. And if she hadn't done that, they wouldn't have given her the directing gig, and then her first directing show would not have been Kenichi the Mighty's Disciple, and then she would not have cast me as Kenichi. And that mere thing of losing that show and losing that role is what actually got me into Funimation.
Wow.
And that propelled all of this. If that had not happened, I may never have been Yuri. I may never have been Armin. It's just like.
So even though it was like, oh man, this happened to me, still it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Because you got all this other stuff that just came afterwards.
Yeah, and I wouldn't realize that it was a blessing for another 8 years.
Wow.
Until all of this really started taking off, and then I realized, holy crap! If that one thing had not happened,
I wouldn't have done all this.
I would be like this. You probably wouldn't even know who I am.
We wouldn't have been blessed with your presence today.
I don't know about that, but let's not go that far.
So there's. You get well known. People know your character because of the voice, right?
Right.
So it seems like people know you. And with that being said, has it made the industry more competitive for dub actors? For dub voice actors?
What has?
Because it's harder for others to break into the industry because people want to come to you, who obviously, iconic as you are, they want to come to you for more,
right?
As opposed to maybe Joe Smith down the street who really loves it and wants to do it,
right?
So it's harder for them to come up. Do you feel that is the case?
I feel like it's multifaceted. What has made it a little harder for newer people to get in? That said, there's some people that just come out, decide, no, I want to do this, and they go out there and they make it happen within like a year or something. Like Justin Briner.
Oh, that's right.
The lead of My Hero Academia. Like that was like he did stuff for like a year, maybe 2 with them, and then he got that, and now look, that's like it's the new big thing. That's propelled him like overnight. This show is what's making his career right now, and that was very fortunate. It's like that's his Yuri in a way. Like that's his show that just kind of, we didn't know what to expect from it. Nobody knew, you never know if something's gonna be popular or not.
And then it took off.
And then it takes off, and it's just like one little thing can change your career overnight. But for people getting into the industry now, I think it's multifaceted in that, yes, there's a lot more people that want to do it, so that already is going to oversaturate the market with a lot of people, also with a lot of amateurs. And then there's the people that sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, no, but like you have that part of it that makes it harder for the market, but then you also have the fact that there's no time to audition. That makes it harder too. It's a lot harder for people to get noticed or to be given a chance, because we no longer have this opportunity to go in and wow directors with an audition anymore. It's really just kind of based off who do I know that I think can play this role well, play it fast, and get it done in time for, because we have less than a week to get every episode done.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like the moment we get the materials for something, it takes roughly 48 hours for a script to be written from the translation.
Okay.
And when I first started as a writer, we were given a week and a half to 2 weeks per episode. We don't have that time anymore. So now 48 hours from translation to fully written dub script. And then within 12 hours of that being turned in, they're already recording the actors on the episode. Wow. So basically, if we don't already have an episode of something done in English by the time the Japanese episode comes out, it'll be out within a week or 2.
Okay.
And that's what we do for everything.
Wow, that's pretty intense. I mean, that's a lot of hard work.
That's roughly 18 shows a season.
Jeez.
Every 3 months that we're doing.
Wow. One right after the other.
Yeah, just one right after another. Wow. So we have a team of right now like 10 writers. And each one, 8 writers. I think it's like 8 writers. So each one takes on 2.5 shows a season.
Yeah.
And so they're writing 2 to 3 episodes a week.
A week.
And we're doing all 3 of those shows in a week.
Wow.
So it's really fast. So yeah, it is very hard for newer people to come in and get noticed.
Gotcha.
It's great for those of us who are established because we get to come in more often. We're working more steadily. But the downside to that is we also, if we're committed to something, we cannot leave.
That's true.
I still haven't taken my wife on a honeymoon. It's not a joke.
Well, we need to get that done.
I know. It's like, well, I'm finally. It's happening in October. But yeah. I mean, we celebrated our 1 year anniversary in April, and I still haven't taken her on a honeymoon because I've just been so fortunate in that I've been cast season after season after season after season. So I can't take off more than 4. If I'm gone more than 5 days, they have to find somebody to replace me for an episode.
Jeez.
So it's just there's no time to leave or anything.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
For sure. And I got a couple more questions. I have to get out of here. I know you got a lot of stuff to do. I don't want to keep you from that. Two things, 2-part question. So, have you ever had a fanboy or fangirl tell you that you didn't match their favorite character? 1, and then 2, what was the most fun anime voice acting you have done?
Okay, just one more time. The first question.
So the first question: have you ever had a fanboy fangirl in the anime fandom who said that you didn't match?
That I did not match.
Yes.
Right. I'm sure all the time. I mean, just go to any YouTube comment section, and there's plenty of people that say that I'm the Antichrist of their character, basically. Right? I just destroyed it. But and that's fine. You're not going to please everybody.
Of course.
My argument back would at least be if all you're saying is that I don't sound like the character, cool, fine. We can't always match the sound correctly. We're looking for the best performance, not necessarily the best sound. But if you're trying to say that I my acting was horrible and that the Japanese version was better, then my question first would be, are you fluent in Japanese? Do you know all the cultural references, the pop culture references, the history, every single regional dialect, all that stuff, to the point where you can say without a shadow of a doubt that this is superior, that you know that it was actually good acting? Because if not, shut up. Like, I don't care. Like, it's like I can't take that seriously, because unless you actually have a basis for comparison based in understanding of the material and the language that it's based in and the culture, you can't say with certainty that mine was subpar, that I ruined something.
How dare you?
It's just based on sound, or like, I get that, because it's the same thing as reading a book and then going to the movie and thinking that the movie sucks.
Of course.
Because when you read it, whether you're watching in Japanese and reading the subtitles or you're reading the manga, you are the one. You have a personal relationship with the words because you are thinking them out loud, and you yourself are assigning a voice to it, and usually it's your voice. Even if it's not necessarily you, it's a part of you that you are, putting into that character, and you identify with that character in that way. That's what we do. It's so like, I understand 100% that there's a possibility that I may not match that, because that is your personal experience. There's no possible way that I can match that unless I'm just lucky. Gotcha. So, yeah. So I could go on and on about it. Sorry if it came across like, but like, it's. Yeah,
Stop it, trolls.
And that's the other thing. It's like, you never know if somebody is just being a troll, or if
it's the internet,
or if it's like a legitimate concern or anything. But so yeah, at this point, it's like, yes, it happens. Do I care? Not anymore. Not anymore. I can't, because when I did, I drove myself into a really dark place of just like, I know so many newer actors that make that same mistake too. They go and look at, like, they're so excited just to see what people think. Like, did I do okay? Did I hit this right? Do you think like do you feel the same things I feel when I was recording that character? And so they'll go and they'll look at these comment sections, and it's just cancerous.
Yeah.
It's just some of the most hateful, horrible sounding things, because people just either don't care what it is that they say, or they never think that the actual actors are going to see the thing that they typed, and people get heartbroken. I've seen people like lock themselves away and like sob just because they feel like their career is over, because people just hate the stuff they do, or they just say these horrible things, and it's like, I can't do that. I can't care about it anymore. I can't give the people. I can't give someone.
You can only do
power.
so much.
Exactly.
Like, at the end of the day, you have.
If I legitimately screw up a character, like I don't. If like I was playing Tokoyami as the same way that Briner plays Deku, obviously I'm screwing up the character, because that's not his personality.
Of course.
I get that, but I'm not going to do that. Like. I'm an actor. I know how to follow a script. I know how to read and put myself in those situations.
Well, let's go ahead and jump out of the dark place. Real quick.
Yeah. Sorry.
No worries. No worries. What was the most fun anime that you did voice acting for? What was the most fun you had so far in your career, would you say?
That's hard, man.
Not trying to play favorites.
Yeah. Well, I can't. I don't have favorites because they're all my children. And I honestly can't just pick one, because so many either meant something to me when I got them, or represented a milestone in my career. So like each one kind of has its own, like, sorry, I'm like spitting all over you.
No worries.
I would probably say most recently, the one I had the most fun with is High School DxD.
Okay.
Because it's one of the few, again, another kind of a side effect of simuldubs is because we don't get to see the full show anymore before we start, writing and dubbing it. We don't know, we don't really have the freedom to punch up dialogue as much as we used to, because we never know if we're potentially saying something that will actually contradict something in the story later.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? So if we could watch all of My Hero beforehand and then record it, obviously, yeah, we would know exactly where the boundaries are, where can we punch up dialogue or jokes or something like that. But we don't know what's going to happen from episode to episode, so we're very literal, and we're very, like, so a lot of times, because of that, we don't necessarily have the time to, let's say I did a take and I just wasn't happy with it. But the director's like, nope, that's what I needed, we're moving on. Usually I would have the opportunity to be like, can I give you one more just to see if you like it better?
Okay.
Like I have something now that I've said it once, that I've played with it a bit. I have another idea. I want to see if you like it better. Sometimes, we don't really have the time for that anymore. So in a way, just from the actor's standpoint, some of the collaboration and the creative process has gone out of it. But with DxD, because it's just such a ridiculous comedy, and from episode to episode, like, we get the story, we can read the manga, so we know what's going to happen and everything. We still have the opportunity to play and to be creative. That's one of the only shows where they'll let me improv.
Really?
I've half of my dialogue and my jokes in this last season was all me, just improvising in the booth.
That's awesome.
Or seeing parts of the animation being like, wouldn't it be funny if you said this instead? And then we do it, and if I make the director laugh, then we're like, well, obviously that's the one we need, because this is the one that is making you and the engineer and anybody that's in the room listening to us record, that's the one that's getting a reaction.
Awesome.
And so that's the one we would go with. So yeah, like, I love that ability to be able to actually feel like I'm contributing to...
in a more creative way.
Instead of just coming in and performing and reading lines.
Gotcha.
Which, at the end of the day, that's all an actor is somebody who comes in from job to job, says the lines, does their thing, and leaves. But the artistic side of it is being able to play.
Yes.
And to, really explore that character and how you react emotionally, putting yourself in their reality.
Gotcha.
And so, like, it's... I could go on and on. Sorry, stop me.
Yeah, no,
just
no
do
worries.
another question because I'll just keep going.
No, we'll go ahead and wrap it up.
All right, cool.
Again, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to meet with us here and an interview and to meet with the Geek Impulse fam.
Yeah,
here,
absolutely.
So, with that being said, Geek Impulse fam, I'm Joshua Sexton. This is Josh
Grelle. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us, and thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Talk soon. Thank you so much. Bye.
Peace.